Hey, my beautiful people, thanks so much for tuning in to the Money Mindshift, How Rich People Think. We're going through the book, How Rich People Think by Steve Seibo. Steve, I'm coming for my check. That's right. If you're interested in this book, you can just click on the link on the side or up above, wherever you see the link at. You can actually buy the book through me, man. I got my affiliate link working. I'm just telling you straight up, yes, I got it working. Fantastic. So we're going to be going through a lot of books, but what we're going through now is 15 minutes a day. 15 minutes a day to keep broke away. Now, here's the deal. Wealth begins in the mind. That's right. Wealth begins in the mind. You must be wealthy in your mind long before you're wealthy in your wallet. So here's the deal. People ask me all the time, ERGJ, Certified Financial Educator, how'd you go from being a financial zero to being a financial hero? So what I tell them is I started to read financial things and I applied it to my life. Now, I can tell plenty of people to go read this book, but guess what? Most of them simply won't go get the book. So what I decided to do was start this show. We're going to actually go through the book together, and we're on a 100-day journey. And today we are on day number 36. I know you don't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time. Hey, let's get this thing started. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Change the way you think. You change the results in your life. Day number 36. Middle class believes money is their enemy. The world class believes money is their friend. The middle class believes money is their enemy. The world class believes money is their friend. The masses have a dysfunctional, adversarial relationship with money. Yeah, I would agree. We are taught that money is scarce, hard to earn, and even harder to keep. People of influence in childhood instructed them to work hard and hoard as much money as possible. Teachers, coaches, parents, clergy, and other authority figures, most of whom had little money, conditioned us to see money as a necessary evil. How do you see money? Were you brought up this way to believe that money is a necessary evil? Were you taught this to hoard it just to grab as much as you can and hold on to it? I remember a cartoon, the DuckTales, I believe is what it's called, Scrooge McDuck. This shiny dime, and then he just hoarded his money in this big vault. I remember that vividly, just watching DuckTales. Now, it was cool to see that he started with a dime and he had, a wad of money, had Fort Knox. But what was interesting is that he hoarded he was so hung up on keeping his money while everyone else was out to steal it. I wonder what that did to my psyche, because I was a big cartoon person. I don't know about you, but maybe that messed me up too. I don't know. But the world class has the same childhood experience, but along the way had exposure to a higher thought level that changed the way they thought about wealth. And that is what we're doing here, guys. Maybe you haven't been exposed to a different thought process as it relates to wealth or money. And so what we're doing here, we're exposing you to a different thought process of money. If you were brought up the same way that many of us were brought up, which is, that money, the love of money is the root of all evil, or some people say that money is the root of all evil. We know none of that is true. But what is your relationship with money? What is your Now, here's the deal, guys. I meet many people who have a bad relationship with money. Like, they always are divorcing themselves of money. Now, how do you see that? You see it in their spending habits. They absolutely hate keeping money. Matter of fact, if they have money in their pocket, soon it's going to be gone. You can't even carry money in their pocket because they know they'll spend it. They have a bad relationship with money. So instead of wanting to keep it, instead of wanting to develop it, instead of wanting to grow it and love it and all of this stuff, they just divorce it and they get rid of it as quickly as possible. That's a bad relationship with money. And that's why many find themselves broke, because they haven't found a way to build a good relationship or a psyche or a mentality as it relates to the money that comes into their hand. They learn that money is not the enemy, the world class, but one of the greatest allies and friends. It is a friend that has the power to end sleepless nights of worry, physical pain, and can even save their life. They learn that money is not materialistic. People are materialistic. Money is just a medium of exchange without attachment to anything good or bad. Blaming money for greed and materialism is like blaming food for making people fat. It's delusional thinking. How many of us have had delusional thinking as it relates to money? And we continue to write this narrative or speak this narrative, but now I believe we're planting some different seeds into a thought process so we can actually build a good relationship with money, or build a good relationship with wealth. The rich see money as a special friend that can help them in ways no other friend can. And these positive feelings lead them to build a stronger relationship every day. The more money you acquire, the more you understand it. And the more you understand it, the more good you can do with it. Let me repeat that again. The more money that you acquire, the more you understand it. And the more you understand it, the more good you can do with it. See, I believe that the reason why I want you to be rich, because I believe that you're a good person and you want to do good things with the money. You've seen enough of what bad people do with money. Now we need to get some good people with money so we can have some good things happen in life. And I was thinking about this the other day, guys. There's no reason why we should have this epidemic of homelessness when we have all of this money, all of these properties. Like, we could literally end homelessness if we really wanted to. The problem is we don't have enough good people that want to end homelessness. So that's why we have the problem. So we need more good people with a whole bunch of money so we can change the things that we have going on in this world. We can fix and end a lot of this stuff if we just have enough people, good people with money. That's what it is. So I need all the good people to develop good relationships with money so that we can do good things with it and we can truly change the world. Y'all get me? Y'all get me? I know y'all good people. Yeah, I know y'all are good people. The great ones continue to cultivate and nurture their relationship with money by thinking about how to earn more, invest wiser, and leverage as much as possible. They think about how to earn more, invest wiser, and leverage as much as possible. So in the comments below, guys, I want you to put earn more, invest wiser, and leverage. Earn more, invest wiser, and leverage. This is where we need to have our thought processes on as it relates to the money that we acquire. We want to earn more of it. We want to invest it better. In other words, we want to get the money working for us. And then we want to use that money, which has now become wealth or power, to leverage it as much as possible. The rich do this so well, they often acquire much more than they will ever want or need, which is typically when they turn their attention to giving to the excess away to charitable organizations. These groups wouldn't survive without the success and generosity of the wealthy who have adopted money as a close friend. Hey, Andrea, how are you? Thanks so much for joining. Now, here's the deal, guys. The middle class believes that money is their enemy, but the world class believes that money is their friend. Have you made money your friend? Have you made money your friend? Now, here's the quote of the day by Ralph Waldo Emerson. He says that money, which represents the prose of life and is hardly spoken of in parlors without apology, is in its effect and laws as beautiful as roses. Again, Waldo Emerson said that money, which represents the prose of life and is hardly spoken of in parlors without apology, is in its effect and laws as beautiful as roses. Now, here's what I want you to think about. And here's what I keep saying, I'll be thinking about, like, why is the topic of money so taboo? Why is it difficult, or why have we been taught not to talk about money when we know how powerful money can be, especially in this world that we live in? And I believe that because we've been taught not to talk about it, and we choose not to talk about it, we find it harder and harder to bring about it. Like we can talk about sports, we can talk about relationships, we can talk about love, but when it comes down to like talking about money, everybody shuts up. Matter of fact, when I go to the schools and the organizations, I go to the high schools, and I say, hey, do you want to be rich? They have a hard time saying yes. As if it's okay. It's like, I'm cool with being poor, but if I say that I want to be rich, something ain't right about that statement. Like, how screwed up have we made this thing to be? Like, you know what you can do with money? So Andrea said she was born and raised in ex-communist countries. Yes, money was a big issue. So in your upbringing, when you say a big issue, was it something that you weren't allowed to talk about too? Because here in the United States, it's not that we weren't allowed to talk about it. We were just taught not to talk about it. And then, and so when you're not talking about money, you're not talking about how you can acquire more of it. You're not talking about the ideas that you can bring to actually, grow your business or grow your idea, whatever. Like you're not talking about how you can manage it better. You're not talking about a budget. You're not talking about, you weren't allowed to make it. Okay, in a communist country, that's the state controlled all of the resources. I got you. Are you still, you said an ex-communist, so now is it a free market? Oh, Andre, I really want to talk to you. If you're open to come and talk. So let me ask you something. If you're open, you can join the seat. So let me ask you something. With the switch from now, think about this, guys. We got someone that's come from Czech Republic at the time. For a while it was a communist country. They broke free, and now they're in a free market. So they weren't allowed to talk about. They weren't allowed to make money. They weren't allowed to own and control their own resources. The state controlled the resources. Now it's a free country. So how has your mindset changed, Andrea, from maybe the time when you, or maybe your parents, or maybe you couldn't even control the money, to now you are able to? You have the freedom to do so. Is there more talks about money? Do you see more people becoming millionaires, being free, expressing their ideas, growing businesses? What is that different? I mean, this is an interesting conversation, because I'm in America and we've always had a free market system. You come from a place where you were pretty much monetary slavery to now monetary freedom. Has that changed the way that the people do the people take for granted being in a free country now, or do they has it catapulted them to a whole new level of wealth? So the mindset, oh man, do you mind joining? Or you're not ready to, I know you're a woman, so you might not be ready to get on camera. Just click a seat. Oh, this is about to be good, guys. Just click. If you click open seat, I'll let you in. No problem. Yeah, I'll walk you through. If you just click open seat on the screen, I don't know if you're on your phone or you're on a laptop or something. Then it'll ask, and then I'll accept. There you go. Yes, we got someone new. This is going to be interesting. Andrea Ruzakava. Hey, how are you?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you just fine. Thanks so much for joining.
Okay, thank you. Well, it's just my first day on Blab, so I'm still trying to figure it out.
Oh, no problem. I'll walk you through the way. I've been doing. I'm a pro at this time. So thanks so much for. Hey,
It's my little assistant right now here.
Okay, cool. Hey, how are you? You gonna wave? Cool. Hey, so Andrea, I'm glad that you're joining. So I thank you for having the courage to join with me. A lot of people don't have the courage to join with me. So we're talking about a mindset, right? A change in mindset. Now you literally have a whole different mindset with your upbringing with the communist society, which is the state owns and controls all of the wealth and they make all the decisions, to now a free market where you can go and realistically, you can go as far as you would like to go. So how does that dynamic work out? Because I think in America, we take for granted having a free market system. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I have to say it's quite difficult, because let's say that I spent, the most important age of my life in ex-communist regime, which we were not allowed to have any vision. We couldn't travel. There was nothing, no hope, nothing. But I guess I was born with something. I always had the kind of pressure just to go and, find answers and just wanted more. So when I could, I kind of left the country and went to Spain and England and South Africa. So I was lucky enough to find the people and kind of started to, search for answers. And, when all these books came, and I have to say big thank you to Robert Kiyosaki, which kind of changed my mind. That was the hope I was, looking for. And I guess that happened for many people that, Rich Dad Poor Dad, that book basically just, gave me such a hope, because I thought that I was kind of, strange, or there was something wrong with me, because I just wanted more. And I just couldn't describe it, because nobody told me the answers. We didn't have any books, nothing. There was nothing here.
Wow. So not only did they own and control all the wealth, but they kept you from being able to read and get access to some of these books or resources that could free your mind.
Exactly. And it was even before internet, anything. So I'm talking about the time 20 years back.
Yeah. But even back then, so even when we didn't have internet, not having internet, but then also not having access. Yeah. You didn't have access to the things that maybe the state had access to in order to free your mind. So if your mind is controlled and your resources are controlled, then you're a controlled people.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. So how's that dynamic? So once you got to the free, once you got out the country, you got to the other states or other countries, and you saw that this is a whole new way of life that you could live. You read the book, I guess, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. You began to search for new ways. Is that how that worked for you?
Exactly. I got hungry for information. I spent like 10 or 15 years just reading and, getting the information, trying to absorb it. And I slowly tried, my own little projects, tried to, make money on side. And I was also lucky enough to get into a company. It was by the time internet startup, a company in Prague, managed by Americans. It was the first time I saw young guys with great vision. And I was the first time I really thought, okay, if they can, I can do it too. And there was a defining moment that there's like the big difference between, even those guys, they work on Wall Street, and I was just a simple, just a normal girl, that I just kind of started to dream. And I guess that's the number one thing. I mean, if you have a dream, you can do anything, even if it's damn hard.
So if you can dream it, you can achieve it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's hard.
I have to dream it before because you couldn't even see it before. But now that your eyes will open to something new, you can begin to dream so that you can then go and start to achieve those things. Mm-hmm. What's your big dream now?
My big dream, right, is build a new company, because I had some project previously, something worked. Then I moved to something else, and suddenly something happened, and I lost, I don't know how to explain that, but it looked like I got back into my old mind for whatever reason, and I need to kind of reconnect.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened. I don't know. But,
well, I mean, that's one of those things, right? You're talking about 20 years of bondage. You finally get free, but it's still, you still have that old stuff in there that you gotta
exactly. It's my own finding is that old stuff will never go away.
Right.
Because I'm not a scientist, but I have experienced through some very painful experience that the old stuff stays there. And your job, if you learn new stuff, is just to practice your new self and just live with that. That's kind of my own finding.
Yeah, to kind of just focus on the new stuff and let that new stuff become so ingrained for the next 20, 25 years that now this is your new foundation. So let me ask you a question. We're talking about how rich people think, right? And so I don't know if you read this book, but this chapter is talking about middle class believing that money is an enemy, the world class believing that money is a friend. Have you now gotten to the point where you believe that money is your friend?
Well, definitely. I have just experienced time when I had like no money and I hated it. It's, sometimes when you cannot find the right relationship, just be without money and you will see how quickly you will start, loving them.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff, man. So here's the deal, guys, man. I'm so glad that Andrea came on to share a little bit of her story. We're going to have you back because this is a whole different dynamic. And again, I believe that us here in America, we may take for granted having the freedom to be able to dream, to be able to go after whatever it is that comes into our spirit, to be able to really achieve. And she's come from a background where she was in bondage, literally in bondage from a mental standpoint and a financial standpoint. And she was able to break free. And now she's like, man, she is hungry for information. So here's the deal, guys. Are you hungry for information? Or do you take the access that you have to information for granted? This is why I say when I got out of debt, the reason why, because I started to read, I was hungry for information. Are you? Is it that important to you? She saw something new once she got out of slavery that caused her to really chase after freedom. And the whole point of what I'm saying is I want you to be free. I want you to be free financially because that is one of the greatest stresses that people have in their life, to be broke, and knows what it feels like to be broke. And if you're in a free market society, you have the opportunity to free yourself. Would you agree, Ms. Andrea?
Definitely, yeah.
So here's our critical thinking question of the day, guys. Do you see money as your friend or as something you wish you didn't have to think about? Do you see money as your friend or as something that you wish you didn't have to think about? And then here's our action step. Here's what you want to take away today, and here's what you want to do as it relates to taking what we talked about today and applying it to your life. Start telling yourself on a daily basis that money is your friend and a positive force in your life. And your mind will go to work to help you to acquire more. I'll repeat that again. Start telling yourself on a daily basis that money is your friend and a positive force in your life. And your mind will go to work and help you to acquire more. Now, Ms. Andrea, you came on today and you shared a few tips with us and a little bit of your story. Do you have any last words for those people that are out here that might still be in bondage just because they just choose to be in bondage and they have the opportunity for freedom? Ms. Andrea, are you there?
I just didn't hear everything.
Oh, okay. Sometimes I was asking if you had any last words of encouragement for those people.
Thank you. I mean, there was sometimes, you get the right message. So I guess that's why I joined your talk right now. So nothing is happening just without any reason. So thank you so much.
Absolutely, guys. So here's the deal, guys. I'm here Monday through Saturday at 8 a.m. We're going through the book, How Rich People Think by Steve Szabo. Steve! And I'm coming for my check. If you want to get this book, you can just easily just go to my link on my website and you actually purchase the book through me. We'll be here tomorrow at 8 a.m. 15 minutes a day of reading to change the way that you think so you can change the results in your life. Now, here's the deal. I'm a certified financial educator. I'll be here tomorrow at 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the question is, will you?